Right, welcome back to another episode of the Muscle and the Hustle podcast. We haven't been two useless bastards like usual. We've actually got a guest, and it's none other than Daniel Dargan. Hello.
Let's go.
The wolf.
Ken on trend. The boss man, Martin Garrick's here. What's good?
You're giving us some use, he's only in the door.
I was going to say it's the lion, the wolf, and Mickey Quinn, but yeah, I quite like that. Ken on trend.
The wardrobe?
It's got that little ring that so it does. Martin Garrick's been 20 years old.
Oh, no, you are. I'm rating the hair. That's the first time I've seen it. I actually
But that's good, it suits you.
Do you think so?
Nice.
This is all compliments
I
online.
feel like there needs to be the tan there, so the tan's working well.
The
so
tan has to be there.
if you look Casper and you've got that.
It's too much. Yeah,
Do
agree.
you do shit out the Bellamianta or something for the tan?
No, it's alright. It's not from a bottle. It's from a sunbed UV bottle. We've got one in the fridge. You just keep it open and eat all the time now. It's just lighting up. I think for anybody listening, look, congratulations, you made it to 2024, and the last year's been fucking green crackers for me anyway, so I'm more congratulating myself, but
yeah, listen, 24 is the year. It's going to be our year. I know it now.
Yeah,
I can see, last year was the warm-up. We say this every year, but it was. I feel like things, like in the past couple of years, things have finally been clicking. I think for all of us as well. So 24, that's where our shit's going down, baby.
You can feel everything moving in the right direction, I think, for most people anyway. Especially, like, you can see it with the people around you as well. And I don't like that thing where people are like, oh, your environment. Like, I do believe that you are the catalyst to your change, regardless. Don't get me wrong, the environment matters, but for yourself. And I actually think this podcast is really suiting, because I think the three of us are just fucking gonna smash this, because it's fucking New Year's. This is, if you're listening to this, 2024, like,
yeah.
And I think there's no better time.
Could be a bit hungover from last night.
There's no better time though. As much as like I'm such a fucking don't wait. But if you have waited, there is no better time than now to fucking get after it. And I think you're probably one of the best guests we could get for this, because I feel change is probably one of the better things you're at. And I think the first question I want to lead off.
Well, no, introduce yourself first, because like that's the first time I've met you.
Fucking
Yeah, I know.
You never
know him. Get to know him.
Come on, what are you doing, man? No, so my name's Daniel Dargan. I'm sure as you've seen in the podcast title, this is the first time me and you met.
Yeah.
Spoke to you over Zoom briefly. I
Yeah.
feel like I've known you through some of the podcasts, and then Tony and I, when did we meet? About 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, in around that. Long
Yeah,
time.
so we're actually I would call Tony a brother now, and Garrick's, you're on your way, bro. You're on your way. No doubt. But yeah, like Tony, I'm an online coach, and started the whole Instagram gig maybe 2 years now. Didn't think we'd get to where we are, but yeah, call myself the Iceman. Love the old song.
The Iceman.
I think he's underpinned himself there, to be honest. Like, I would count Daniel as a very close friend. I would say a brother, to be honest. And it's one of the things where, for me, you're going to get a lot from this, because there's very few individuals that can ask for such a high level of discipline or a high level of physical change in a person, or mental change, because he's walked the walk. He always says this, and this stands out massively to me. If there's one thing I want you to take away initially, it's this. People won't rise to the standard you ask, they rise to the standard you set, and that includes yourself. Whenever you set a standard for yourself, you will become that individual over time, and it's something I've noticed with living with him. Everything he says, it's not fucking just words. It's, you're like, oh, he backs this. Like, the first day we were there, up at stupid o'clock, following through. So for me, there's weight in the word, and you can always tell it when an individual talks, and that's why we've clicked quite well. But I think that's why there's probably not enough just whenever somebody says it about themselves, because the person always struggles to, when somebody goes, explain who you are, Tony, I'm like, mate, I don't know who the fuck I am. You're better asking somebody who has lived with me, like a family member, and they'll point out flaws, they'll point out things, but the thing is, what we've got him in here for is what he's best at, and that's what you're going to get a ton of fucking value from, and that's what I want to highlight. And for me, the first question I want to lead off on is, if you are starting, I think this is probably one of the best things. If you're starting off and you are looking at people like you, right? This is me being straight. I think this is a really good question. Mm-hmm. You're looking at somebody that's getting up at 4:30, and I love this because I get the same question. I have different analysis. You're getting up at 4:30. You're in a nice bin. You're fucking nuts. You're hitting the gym. You're fucking doing everything right. But I'm starting off and I'm just trying to get my life together, and I am waking up at normal time, rushing to work. I'm struggling to even get fucking breakfast, and I'm not busy. I'm not. I need to obviously stop comparing myself to you. That's probably one of my main issues as an individual. But what is the initial thing you think for spark and change that would start somebody? What would be the first small, even if it's as shameful and as small as possible, what is the first thing you'd be like, right, this is what you could look at?
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to changing your life, the first thing people think about is, okay, what am I going to start doing? People think, I'm going to start journaling, I'm going to start meditating, I'm going to start cold plunging, I'm going to start this, that, and the other. Start. But what about the things that you're going to stop doing? What about the habits that are holding you back? What about the habits that are comfortable in the moment that aren't serving you tomorrow? What about the habits that you know aren't really moving you forward, but you keep going back to them time and time again? The scrolling, the porn, the alcohol, the drugs, the sleeping in, the hitting snooze. What about stopping those things? And I want you to ask yourself the question, like, okay, a car, how do we go quicker? We accelerate. We hit the accelerator, but we also want to remove the friction. We want to avoid the speed bumps. So how can you avoid the speed bumps in your life? And that's the first question. If I had to go back to day one, and that's exactly what I'd done. I was in a place where I was partying every weekend, drink, drugs. I was a very toxic individual. And the first thing that I'd done, instead of, okay, I'm going to start this, I removed drugs and alcohol. For drugs, for good, forever. Never touched the drugs since. But alcohol for 10 months. If you take away the friction in your life, you're going to go so much quicker. So that could be a case of, okay, I know that I'm partying, I'm in a cycle of going out drinking every single weekend. So I'm going to lock in a standard in 2024, at least for the first 90 days, that I can only drink once every second week. That means you stop that loop. And realistically, if we ask ourselves the question, what holds a lot of people back? It's going out partying. And don't get me wrong, you need to enjoy your life, absolutely. But you know wholeheartedly in yourself, if that's one thing that's holding you back from getting to the next level, that's a conversation that you need to have with yourself, and an honest one at that. So ask yourself, what can I stop instead of starting? Because you'll actually go a lot faster. I removed those things from my life: porn, drugs, alcohol. I haven't done anything crazy, but stopping those alone has got me so much further. So I want you to ask yourself that today. Who do you want to become? What actions do they not do? And emulate that. That would be the first thing I would start with.
Yeah, I think that's good.
What about, this is just a wee side question, the old you from then, if he was looking at the you from now, would he go, who's this fucking mad bastard?
Would he also...
Would you like, no,
yes, that was my question.
Would you like
you
that?
Go,
Say if you were looking at a stranger saying just what you said now, would you go, nah man, I'm having fucking fun here?
Like, what if somebody's like, oh, I don't know, this sounds a bit preachy. Yes,
yeah.
What about that? Because I definitely guarantee there's somebody that's
absolutely.
Like, bit much. Like, there's, and the thing is, I fully believe this because I'm like that, but it's like, that person's in that story of their telling, I think they're almost they're lying to themselves. Because it's, I don't like the word comfortable. I hate that comfort zone shit because it's too overplayed now. No, but it's one of them things where like you don't realize your false perception is holding you back. Maybe is the right term.
Okay, I want to like firstly lay it out on a level playing field, like what my life actually used to look like. So I used to have this persona that I was trained to be a pilot down in Dublin. And I used to live this persona that I was high flying, that I was living the life, that I was the man. I told myself that, and every weekend, drink, drugs, I was scrolling, I was excessive amounts of porn, I was lying to people, I was not a good person to be around, and like in my head, like it was just an absolute minefield. So I want to let you know, like firstly, like things were not always fantastic, but you need to remove those things first and foremost. And I understand that it's preachy, and if Daniel was sitting back in 2017, he might think, what a virgin. He might think he might be sitting and thinking, who is this guy? Like, who does he think he is? That's cringy, that's embarrassing. But I also know there's part of Daniel in there that he would respect it, and he would say, you know what,
even though he's speaking about the truth here,
he would say
something would seep in.
He would say, fair fucks to you, Daniel, because I know even when I was 17, when I was 18, like I started out, like before I went down the shitstorm, like I would have been getting up at 5 a.m, going out for runs, listening to David Goggins, and that was only short-lived for about 6 months, and then I went into a hole, and didn't come out for years. But I know Daniel would have looked on and still respected that. But I think we really need to strip this back and remember that this Daniel that we were talking about, that was 5 years ago. Yeah. That wasn't 12 months ago.
Do you recognise that Daniel now?
No. And really,
that's the person who needs this the most, though. Yeah. And it's how do you hit? It's easy to hit home with somebody who's in the self-development route. Yeah. What we're sort of trying to break down, and I think is the hardest part, is that person who hasn't hit rock bottom yet, or is just about to hit it. Yeah. I think it's almost, a lot of people find it, I know it sounds terrible, but when you're at rock bottom, I think it's easy to change. I found that really easy whenever my relationship broke down. I was at bottom because there's no way but up. Like, you're like, I can't get any fucking lower. Shit's so bad. So it's before that bump, I think, because then you go, I could have dodged this. I could have fucking avoided this.
A lot of the time you can see rock bottom coming, but you blank it out because you're like, oh well, no, don't worry. You know, things can always get better, but you know that if you continue the cycle you were on, you know it's not going to get better, but you're kind of having half fun doing it anyway.
I think I truly did not believe that I was going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I would always say, like, if 19-year-old Daniel was sitting here, I would say, like, Daniel, like, if he's saying I don't believe that I can't get out of it, like, I would say, please find someone that will believe in you. And I had someone that believed that. I actually sent him a reel, this guy the other day, who really believed in me, and he completely changed my perception of what I was capable in life. And I sent him this, and I don't speak to him very often. I said, I was like, you're that guy, like, you're that one person that was in my corner when I was in the mud. You're in that one person that was in my corner when my back was against the wall. And like, there is gonna be a Daniel 1.0 out there. Listen to this, and he will know in his head that he's built for more, but he'll be doing all the habits that I was doing. And I want to let you know that it's not gonna happen overnight, but one after the other after the other. It's difficult and you're going to slip up, but the beauty of it is every time you slip up, you might go a little longer before you slip up again. And in a year down the line, you'll be a completely different person. So it's not, I need to be perfect. It's, okay, I'm going to try and learn from this mistake, and I'll go a little bit longer until I make that again. That's how we create change. It's not an overnight thing. Don't
look at the fact of, like, how many days, like, oh, I broke dad at the weekend, right? I nailed 5 days of good dad. Can I get 6 next week? And it's that small thing. I think as well, what a lot of people don't realize is that they always think of, like, discipline as negative because it's, like, associated with disciplinarian, and it's associated with quite, like, negative in that sense. But the thing is, with discipline you get freedom, and I think a lot of people need to not need to realize, but I think you can. I never realized the potential of where you can go whenever you lock certain things in, and I think it's because you don't realize the distance you can cover once these get your momentum right. Once you get your foundations right with these small things, like the one that I probably was most guilty of with these is probably hitting snooze. I was that sort of individual where I'd be like, it doesn't matter, but it does. You're the individual, like, when nobody's around, that's who you are. And to me, that was signaling to me that I'm a loser straight off the bat. You know, I'm going back to dreamland. And as much as you don't want to do it, there's this real thing now on social media of where, like, people will be like, oh, these rising grinders are, lunatics. You don't have to be that. And to me, this is just a marketing ploy, in my opinion, to make you feel good for being average. And I'm going to be straight as fuck. If you want to be average, work away. You can have average sex. You can have an average marriage. You can hate your life whenever you're 45 and have 2 kids that you didn't even want, a woman you didn't want. And that's me being fucking blunt, though. There's so many men that are living quiet lives of desperation because they settled for average. There's so many women as well, and it's in every sense of the word. You settle for the job because it's enough to just give you a little bit of freedom, but not enough that you're free to. You settle for that marriage or that relationship because you didn't want to go back out and single. You weren't ready to take the gamble. There wasn't enough pain that you were ready to think, and that's a choker around your neck. Right? You realize that's worse. You're better in a relationship or a job or any area of your life that sucks balls so much that it forces you to change. Because the worst position you can be in is when it's not zero. See, whenever you're like the worst situation ever, and rock bottom, you're in a bad place. You will make change because you're in so much pain. That's the way I was. Right? That's the best place to be. The other best place is obviously at the other end of the spectrum, which is fucking everything's fine.
Once you get there.
Yeah. But the worst place to be is around that 4, that level where things are round average. And you don't fully hate your job. It's just bad on some days. You don't really fully not hate your girlfriend, but like, it's not great. But at the end of the day, Tony, when you were at a 4, if you had to go back now, would you have pulled yourself out, or would you have let yourself go to 0? That's the problem. See, for me, if I knew the long-term reward, I think the problem is most people won't gamble because they're so afraid of 0. I think subconsciously, I was like, this is just the way life is. There's ups and downs. I didn't realize that if you go that low, you'll go so much high. So pulling yourself out and putting yourself in that difficult position. Would you, both of you, look back now, and would you be where you are now if it wasn't for the old Daniel and the old Tony? Absolutely not. If you removed all those mistakes, I wouldn't be here. I absolutely wouldn't be here. And it comes from, like, anyone sitting there and you know they're not in a fantastic place, know that on the other side of just making some better decisions, you're going to be in a better place. And like, I'm with you in this as well, and people might think it's extreme, people might think, you know what, like, who is this guy, like these motivational gurus. It's not that whatsoever. It's just I hold myself
to a standard, and as do you, and as do we all, to not go back to that person that we used to be. That's all it is for me. And Andrew Huberman has this quote. It's like, the reason to do hard things is so that when non-self-elected challenges present themselves, which they inevitably will, you can say, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I know I can do hard things.
Yeah.
So that's why you should always do hard things. And for me, I know there will be a dark day that's going to come down the line. People always ask me, do you ever think you'll go back to where you were? I don't believe that that's ever possible. I know that's not possible. I know that wholeheartedly in myself. But there will be a dark day. That'll come. And what I do now is add metal to the armor for that day, so that I don't crumble. And that's what I do now. I'm in service as the person that I want to be, but also run away from who I was. And people also look for an excuse. People look to point the finger. But I genuinely want you to ask yourself and sit there and think about this. If there was a gun to your head, would you do it? If there was a gun to your head, would you find a way to get in shape? If there was a gun to your head, would you find a way to do the work? You would. Like, you wouldn't care if you were motivated. You wouldn't care if you felt like doing it. You would just get it done. And like, sometimes we need to ask yourself, like, okay, if there was a gun in my head and I would do it, it's not can it be done? Because of course it can. It's, do we have a deep enough why? Have we dug deep why we're actually doing it in the first place? I don't want to go to the gym, but I know it's so that I can stand tall down the line when that hard news gets presented in front of me. That's it. People might have different reasons. You might. That's for me, and that's very, very deep. So on the cold, dark days, that's why I get up. So I want you to think of that. What is your deep, deep why?
I'd say that's something you can really relate to, Mickey. Like, you're just past probably one of the hardest. It's got to be one of the hardest things anybody ever struggles with. Like that to me would be one of the hardest things for me personally when that happens to me. And the thing is, that day is coming for me. I'm going to get that day. And the thing is, if you weren't the individual, like you 10 years ago,
all crumbled.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. I think because of what I went through before in 2018, and I actually started like just trying to better myself and went to therapy and stuff, it helped me a lot when it came to dealing with my mother passing, but also life since then and just life experience and different things and looking at life in a different way had set me up to just, I don't know if it's one of those, you just realise that life does, at some stage sadly, does come to an end. And I'm a great believer in things are out of your control. You can't dwell on it too much because, you know, the sad reality of life is shit things do happen. And shit things happen to good people. And as you said, life will throw you obstacles and hurdles. My life in general isn't that probably easy of a life. It's a lot of, you know, the job's tough at times. There's a lot of stress involved. So you're used to being against it a lot, but then because I'm putting myself in that situation, like I could have a real easy life and not aim big, not plan tours in Australia, not plan tours in America, take the easy way out, continue to do gigs around Ireland, because you don't like. That's what every other DJ in Ireland is doing, and it's easy for me here.
So why do you do it?
Because you always strive for more. I want to know how far you can push the envelope. Like,
but why? I know that's we're
because it's testing myself. Because, like, for instance, the whole
to make you better.
The whole Australia, well, to make me better and to prove that I back what I said I was. Because, like, for instance,
why do you want to prove that?
Do you feel like that's to you?
No, because I set myself pretty mental targets. Like, I'm a DJ from Oma who went, right, nobody in Northern Ireland's ever played high Ibiza. I'm going to be the first.
Yeah, love that.
Technically, bicep may have beat me to it, but we will not argue with that.
And what, see for you, when you take off the goal,
when the Australia thing came around, like, the guy had said to me, you boys haven't played Australia before, do you think you'd sell 600 tickets? And I just said to him straight out, we'll sell out this venue. And he thought we were mental. 3 days we sold out the venue. And the ticket prices were insane. And I forgot all about it, and he texted me and he goes, you literally that night that you said to me, he goes, I thought you were full of shit. But that's because I set myself these targets. I have these ideas about what I'm worth, what I do, and I hold myself accountable to it. Like, I don't take a back step. And, you know, sometimes you do get it wrong, but most of the time I just hold myself completely accountable. And if it fucks up, I'll still be accountable. And if it goes well, I'll go, right. I don't really celebrate the wins as much as I should because it's something I always talked about, but I'll I will always reflect on what I do. So like stepping out and doing the Australia thing, doing the America thing, I do it because I want to prove to myself that when I set myself these goals, I want to actually do the fucking thing instead of going, oh yeah, it'll come. Or make an excuse going, well, fucking the current climate doesn't really...
In that process, and with the ticking off of each goal, I think that's exactly what you were making the point of. It adds to your armour.
Oh yeah.
But you're not subconsciously doing it, you're doing it intentionally.
Oh yeah.
But you don't even realise that you're building your armour. Like, you don't realise that, like, that's why certain people make or break.
Yeah.
When, like, and it's the exact reason why whenever shit hit the fan for me last year, I didn't break. The exact opposite happened. I went into overdrive in the opposite direction.
Well, there is a fight or flight thing, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's that.
Why do you think that did happen to you? Why do you think you didn't crumble? Why do you think you went other way?
Because I think honestly, for me, it comes down and it always relates back to my first win, right? And I think if you've not had this in your life, it's really, really key. For most people who are gym related, it'd be the gym. It's whenever you've had success in one area of your life and you've put all the work in as long and as hard and through all the and it's paid off, whether that's getting through a university degree, whether that's, for me, it was graduating the fire service. It's where you put yourself in a circumstance where there's a good chance that most people would quit or struggle, or there's going to be a lot of adversity. And once you push through that and you get that like initial like, holy fuck, I actually get something out of this. Like, I get a reward, I get a six pack, I get a good job, I get a good pay rate, I get the confidence of like actually saving life with the fire service. For me, it was a case of I had all these prior achievements that I could look back on. And it's not a case of you need to have achieved. If you're looking for that first win, it just needs to be something simple. But for me, I could turn around and go, I've been through worse. I've been through stuff where like I was walking in the fire service and like they were turning around to me being like, lift the spanner, and I was like, what the fuck's a spanner, right? I was like the toolbox. They were like, go grab the toolbox and grab the book, and I was going, what? And they were like, bro, you're fucked. Like, you're in the wrong job. Like, there's boys taking about cars on the first day. Like, I mean, knew everything, just practical.
Yeah.
And like, I was sort of boy, I was like, yeah, I can barely lock a door. Like, never mind knock it down. So for me, it's that case of whenever push came to shove, and I also look at it like you've only two options. You only have two, and I think once you wallow around your own pity for long enough, you turn around and you just go, I need to go full in. And I think for me, a lot of it was driven by prior.
Yeah.
The need of like, I'm not good enough, whereas mine was like, I am good enough. I just want to show to myself that I can really do this. It's not for external. That's why you notice my first 6 months of social media of the year was all pre-planned posts. I was recording once a month. I just went off-grid. I done a show, focused on myself, mind, body. And for me, it's that case of it wasn't for anybody else. It's total opposite to what I was doing prior, because self-validation for others is what fucked everything up for me. So I was like, I need to go completely internal again. And whenever I reflected, I was like, what gave me my first win? Getting in shape. So what's going to give me my biggest boost now? Pushing harder in that one area. And I didn't even find this sound because I didn't find comp prep tough at all. I don't know what people complain about. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, difficult, but you actually cannot, like, it's not that hard to go out for a walk on train. Like, it's actually not.
Yeah, but it's also it's a choice. People complain about competition, but you're fucking choosing to do that.
You're getting to do it.
You're getting to do it.
You're not gonna die.
You're getting to do it, and like that's like I heard a thing the other day, and it was like people don't struggle with discipline to watch Netflix, right? Why is that? Because it's fun, right? So like, why could we not
make the process?
Why could we not make the process fun? Like, going to the gym, why can we not make it fun? And I mean, if you really break it down, for me, I go to a gym that I like. There's good music there, there's good people there. Like, I make sure that I go to the gym and I wear a nice vest that I feel good in. Like, I actually when I'm doing my work now, if I'm doing a task that doesn't require creative energy, I would sit with deep house music on. You give me that, and I actually really enjoy it. See, when I'm going to Ballygally and I'm going for a cold dip because I'm going to record videos, I'm sitting there pretending I'm in a music video, and people might think I'm crazy, but it makes it so fun. So how can you make those things which you find difficult, which you know is going to serve you tomorrow, more fun? Because when you really dumb it down, watching Netflix, that's still a task, like, but it's so easy in our heads. It's fun. So how can we make those things fun?
That's shifting your perception too, and there's ways you can do that very, very easily. Like, one of the ways that I really struggled with doing ice baths for longer time periods is when I'm by myself, but making it fun by doing it with somebody. Like, even though there can be friction in going to the gym or starting a new hobby or doing something, like, say for example, this sounds like you want to learn a language, go and you're finding go with a friend at class. Like, makes it 10 times more fun, more accountable, and then on top of that, it's I think it is changing that perception of what task is enjoyable and what's not, because you need to once you remove what's good and what's bad, and although that can be very tough to take, there's always yin and yang. So it's one of them things of, if you're just seeing the yang and not the yin, or vice versa, you're only seeing the downsides, rather that you'll enjoy the process far more. Like for me, whenever I got in the ice bath today, I get in, I'm actually shouting, going in, I'm amping myself up, I'm psyched, versus, because I know what I'm getting out of it as well. And I think it's that case of, for you, it's how you as an individual make the process fun for yourself. You how do you go about that? Like, I just start being like energy. I just start speaking to myself and I get hamped up, and then
I've felt that as well.
Yeah.
I've felt that, but like, I also don't think everything, like, we should expect everything in our life to be like complete sunshine and rainbows. It should be extremely fun, because realistically, like, enjoyment's dictated by how your expectations meet reality. And realistically, if the way I perceive my Mondays now, realistically, it's a subjectively boring Monday. Yeah. But I'm framing it in my head as if like that wee cup of coffee, and that's the best thing in the world. Like, I'm loving that. Like, when I'm having it, I'm not. If I go into Monday expecting it to be the best day, I'm gonna be really fucking disappointed. You know, like, you always remember your school formal back in the day. It was always such a letdown. Why? Because you thought about it for a year. So like, I would say, have high ambitions, so you're gonna have bold actions, but then have low expectations, so you'll be satisfied. That's what I would say, because for me, the biggest change in the past 12 months hasn't been my life itself, it's been how I've actually framed the things that have happened.
Yeah, I rate that. It's one of the things too where, even whenever you talk about the formal, the first thing that came to my mind of what I ramped up for that was a really good fucking, I really expected like the first time sex and stuff to be like, holy, like because I was like 19, I think.
What was it? Do you remember the first story?
Mine was alright, like mine was fine. Do you know, it's one of the things.
Or was it Holy Lands?
No, I'm not giving details.
Escorts Ireland. What?
It's one of them things though where, like, you can amp a situation up so much that no matter, like, I'm gonna be honest, from the stories I've heard, my first time was pretty fucking good, but it's one of them things where, like, I know people who are like to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's not, and it's all down to how you frame things in your mind, and your own perception is one of them things that is very hard to control initially whenever you hear that, because you're like, oh, well, it's raining, you know, like, how is that? But it's actually, this sounds ridiculous, but it's actually standing in the rain, right, and going, why is this bad? Why is the rain bad? Like, who says that is bad? Why is being cold, whenever you stand there, you're like, yeah, I'm cold, but why is that now negative?
Do you not think going in the ice baths and sometimes being in the rain has changed your perception of the rain?
Yes, it does.
Do you not think
you want to get in the water?
But also change your perception of cold.
Of cold, yeah. Absolutely. I used to dread winters. Like, I was like, hate it. See, as soon as I started going to the beach, I was like, oh, it's always more fun when it's raining. Now, I actually don't mind winter at all. So it's completely just changed my perception of that. And even the perception of your first day, or your first gym session, or your first whatever, you got to remember that, like, confidence in that is gonna come, or the experience is gonna come first, right? Confidence is always gonna come after. People always expect the confidence to come way before the experience. And like, I want you to go in to your first day, whatever it is. You might be starting a new job this year. I mean, you might be starting back to the gym. Like, I want you to go in expecting it not to go perfectly. I want you expecting it to be uncomfortable. Okay, but realistically, I want you to ask yourself: do you ever remember your first job that you had? Like, you probably remember it. You remember your first job, right? What was your first job?
Oh, bro, I fucking brought in newspapers.
JD Sports.
JD Sports.
I was 14.
Oh, newspaper. You were a newspaper boy. What was yours?
Washing cars.
All right, washing cars, newspapers.
T-shirt owner.
You've put the wrong image in my head now.
Culty car wash.
But yeah, your first job, when you rocked up, you were probably a little nervous. You're probably, palms are sweaty, you're a wee bit anxious, and 2 years down the line, you could have done the job with your eyes closed. What's the difference between that first day and 2 years down the line, you walking in and a bit of breeze? It's just reps. So if we can understand and if we can recognize that, you know what, it will be uncomfortable, it will be difficult, but on the other side of that is being comfortable in that realm, okay? Just through reps. Like, when I do the ice bath, now it's absolutely a piece of cake, but that first time it was awful. Yeah. So I want you to go into anything, there's going to be something that you want to do this year. It might be to start posting videos, it might be to start a new job, whatever that may be. It might be to go up and speak to a girl. Accept that it's going to suck, because see, when you accept it, the experience is not going to be half as bad as what it was. Because you're going to go in, see if you get, I'll actually tell you a story. So Mike Thurston, you know of Mike Thurston. So when he was out in university, people always ask him, like, Mike, how do you get all these girls? Like, of course he's a great looking fella, but what he used to do with his mates, they used to go out and play a game when they were going to the clubs, and whoever got rejected the most won. And he said what it done was it completely dropped the barrier of the fear of failure.
Yeah.
And he said he used to go in like expecting, you know what, I'm gonna get a rejection, getting a rejection, and like I think that's a cracking lesson, that go into those things expecting that it's not gonna be perfect.
Most dating, if you ever heard, like most dating coaches, most pickup artists will the first thing they will always do to the individual, because I've seen it, I've had people come to me, go out, ask 30, 20, 50, 100 women within a day, within a week for the number.
Well, is that it? All right.
And that's it. You just walk up and you can do whatever you want. You can have small chat, whatever. But you have to, by the time you check in after week one, there needs to be X amount of people to ask for the number of women. And that is always what dating coaches do, right? And the reason they do that is because you are going to be so shit that you're probably going to be lucky. Usually they say, like they'll tell you after this, they're like, you're lucky if you got one number the first week. If you've hired a dating coach, you're obviously struggling massively on that issue. People don't realise that, or pickup artists. But the first thing they'll do is they'll make you go out and they'll make you get over the fear. And see, just by getting over that fear of rejection or looking like an idiot, you completely then become confident without realising it, because it doesn't matter. By the time you went up to the 30th person, you're like, well, I'm going to get fucking rejected anyway. And this relates back to the job thing. You don't actually realise, you don't just wake up and go, oh, I'm now 10% more confident than yesterday. It doesn't happen like that. You don't go, oh, I'm now confident in my job. It becomes autonomous. It becomes how you walk in the room. It doesn't just all of a sudden you go, I'm now confident in the individual. I now walk my chest up and I'm now this new person. That's not how it happens. You don't realise you're confident when you open the door and you say hello to your neighbours. Yeah. Like versus the first time you ever spoke to them, but you don't remember that. And the thing is, it's them individuals that don't remember that they're confident enough or feels that can just relay into this, and you don't realise that that's how you're building your reps. That's how you're actually doing it. And I think that idea of like not being afraid of rejection, not being afraid of failing, that sense of go and expect it, because success and failure, like to get really good at talking to women, you're gonna have to get rejected a fucking load. And the problem is people don't realise that success and failure, they're the same path, and you're gonna hit failure so many times before you get that success. It's like ups and downs. And the thing is, it's one of them routes where a lot of people that don't know that's dead on. You're naive, you're sweet, that's the way I was. What's worse is the individual I used to be, who knows to get there you have to go through the failures. You're just not willing to do it because you're a little fucking coward, and that is the worst type of individual you are. And that's exactly who I was.
But it's the same as everybody's got the same fears.
I've been like
so
that.
Once you realise that, like, say if you're looking at Tony or Daniel or a Thurston or a James Smith or a famous pop star, like the thing I realise from DJing, you know, people go, do you ever get nervous? And I'm like, never, because they've got the same fear as me. Everybody's got that fear of kind of half fucking up in front of 1,000 people. Like when I made my Ibiza debut with Stormzy, he stood behind me.
That's fucking.
And the boy that was doing the lights was shitting himself, and he turned around, and I turned around and seen him. I was like, fuck, he's tall, hey. And then that's all in my head. And then afterwards went back and we was chatting away, and he was like, you know, he goes, I was nervous tonight. And I was like, why? And he goes, because it was my first proper Ibiza gig. And I goes, mine too. And he goes, oh, I could never have told. He goes, because you
Stormzy.
He goes, you kind of settled me a wee bit, because he was like, a rapper playing in a club in Ibiza isn't that common, especially in Amnesia. But like the other boys were like, oh, he just was like a normal guy with the same normal problems. Like I've talked about this before, like when Joel Corey used to be going around all the shithole venues in Ireland playing, I was playing the same shithole venues. Now he's this massive DJ. But I remember us having conversations with him going like, I hate when people call me a reality TV star. He goes, I'm a DJ. And he used to really get annoyed when they go, Geordie Shore's Joel Corey. And then he used to always go, but if that can help me get to here, I will do that. And I just remember thinking, everybody's got, like, you look at these boys and go, fuck, he's got a sword, but everybody's got the same fears. Be it rejection, or be it feeling you're not good enough, or the fear of maybe never getting to that point. But like once you get used to the thing that everybody, like we nobody's got it sussed. Like we have talked about here, we're all blagging it. We're all blagging until we get there. Yeah. And even sometimes you have to blag it a bit harder, where you go, fuck no, I have got it sussed here. And then you realise, fuck, I just got through that with the skin of my teeth there. I just about did that. But
you don't think you need the blanket sometimes.
Well, you do, because the journey kind of teaches you. You know, the journey is the fun part for me. Like, see, when you do reach a goal in the destination, I always kind of go, fuck, I had some fun getting there. And like, when after we came home from that last Australia tour, it was like, right, fuck, that was good crack. Where to next? What do next? And I'm enjoying this next run. And then once you do it again, you're like, the actual final like day of it happening, you're like, oh, cool. But it's the journey that I love, and it's just the crack you have there, and the way you learn more about yourself getting there. But it's just one of those things where, see, once in life when I got to the point of realising that every person, nobody's got it sussed. We're all just fucking winging it. Be it from the biggest name, when I had to get on a job, and when lockdown happened, I was working on movie sets, and I would have met a lot of famous people. They had the same fears as we had, like the same fucking fears. It was 5 o'clock in the morning up the moors. They were freezing. We were freezing. They're human. We're human. Like,
Did you feel it would go that far? Did you feel the potential was there?
Oh, definitely. Well, I dreamed that the potential was there, but because nobody ever did it from where I'm from, and probably really and truthfully only maybe two people from Ireland ever, or two people from Northern Ireland ever got that far. Like, it was like, oh, this probably will never happen. But
has it went better than you thought it could have?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes.
When you were starting out, where do you think it was going to go?
Well, when I started, my dream was to play in a nightclub. Just a nightclub, because I couldn't get out of bars for so long. And then my dream was to get paid more than £150.
Very interesting.
And then my dream was Belfast, and I couldn't get a gig in Belfast. The guy that owns this place here gave me my first gig in Belfast when the whole...
Where was that?
21 Social. And the only reason he done it was because the flag protest was on, he couldn't get out of his house. But anyway, Gary Slim gave me my first gig in Belfast when every other DJ in Belfast was blocking all my gigs. Because I was making a wee bit of noise outside of Belfast, and they were like, don't be giving him gigs, because he'll steal our jobs. And Gary was like, fuck it, take the gig.
Steal our job.
I love what you said there about those people that were like the biggest names, and they're still having the same fears.
Same fears.
Like, again, we spoke recently from Dan TMP, and he spoke about like Steve Jobs, he spoke about Elon Musk, he spoke about this guy and that guy, and the problems they had with the anxiety, the stressors, the depression, and like everybody has the fears, everybody has those problems, but the difference is they still push past those fears.
Yeah.
And I think it's accepting and realizing we're always going to have that. You're always going to feel those emotions, but that's all they are, emotions. So dance with those emotions, recognize they're there, but just push past and do what you need to do anyway. One thing that I always talk to my clients about is we don't ask ourselves how we feel about doing the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ask myself, do I feel like going to the gym? That's one thing that we completely cut out, because it doesn't matter. It should have no bearing on what needs done. Because see, if we start asking ourselves how we feel, that little voice starts to creep in. You know what? It's cold outside. It's dark outside. It's wet. You maybe should stay in. Maybe you're not feeling that great. You didn't have a great sleep last night. That's serving yourself now, but that's shafting that you of 5 days, 5 months, 5 years. So we always need to act how we feel tomorrow. That's the most important thing that I've learned probably in the past year.
Remove the choice of anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like, it's not, am I getting in the bin? Am I going for my walk? Am I doing X? It's, I am doing it, so I can either be slow and take my time doing it and lead up my whole day and take all my energy, or I can just get the fucker done. When you remove choice, there's no option, and then that makes things easier. It's like, that's how I find, like, I have missed a gym session like 11 years now or something. It's something stupid. It's because it's not, and I never really talk about it, but it's just routine. It's just, there's no choice.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't miss. It's not because I'm like, oh, I've got this whole standard. It's just, I couldn't go to sleep. It's just like, it's part of the day. It's just another thing that, like,
11 years.
It's in around that.
That's nearly as big a flex as Stormzy is in Amnesia.
I don't know why.
That's nearly.
I think yours is cool. Mine's actually like, oh, he's.
Oh, why am I? I've never seen him since, so.
yeah. But no, I rate that.
I think it's when you, and that's when you notice, like, your life. Like, I don't think I'll ever worry about my weight. I don't ever feel not confident in my body, even if I'm up or down in weight, because I'm like, the discipline's so ingrained that it's just there, and it's not because I'm a disciplined individual. It's just because the standards are held regardless of how I feel. It's just, and the thing is, the longer you do that, the less you have to think about it. Like, I don't think like I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling sick, I'm feeling run down. Should I go to the gym? I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm ill, but that doesn't relate to what I'm gonna do. It doesn't relate to that action. It's like, It's, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just completely diversified, and it's one of the things where for me, I think it's hard to get to that stage where it's autonomous, but that does happen, and that's why you listen to like the big hitters on the podcast, and you're like, fuck, they're so intellectual, they're so smart.
Yeah.
It's because they've just done the reps upon reps upon reps, and for me, I think one of the main things that I was sort of highlighting is for any individual listener, it's relating back to what I was saying about the potential, and people know the path they can travel and they know failures on it. Greg Pitt's like, two quotes sort of stuck in my head by him when he used to saying, it's with the dance of emotion, he always says, don't wait for the storm to pass, learn how to dance in the fucking rain. And it's one of the things of just realize it's going to be a world when you're going to have shit thrown at you every direction. It's going to be a shit show. Everything in your life is going to be, but it's learning to enjoy the process throughout.
Yeah.
And that's actually just as important, because the thing is, then you'll get to where you want to go. The main problem is, though, a lot of individuals, including myself, you will have a Ferrari, but you're afraid to put the key in it and start the ignition.
Yeah.
Because you don't back yourself. And the thing is, it's sitting there, it's there, you just need to turn the key for long enough. And the problem is, most people don't get down the path because they know they're going to have issues when they turn it on. It's Ferrari, but there's going to be big bills, there's going to be speed bumps, there's going to be broken parts, there's going to be stuff that fucking kills you down the road. So no, I'd rather just not. And I think that is the biggest thing that men will struggle with in the future.
Yeah.
I think down the route, for me, it's not the case of what I've done that I fucked up on, like relationships or not spending enough time with family. For me, I think what'll lead up me when around 55 or 60, or reflecting on this in 20, 50, God love, hopefully I'm alive, is what I didn't do. I didn't take that shot. I would rather lose everything. That's why I quit the fire service, because I goes, I'll gamble everything, safety and all, to turn around and go, shouldn't have done that, and go, fuck it, at least I rolled the dice and I lived the fucking life. Whereas it's that safety net is actually,
it's not a safety net, it's
a choke.
People regret the things they didn't do, not the things they did do.
Oh yeah.
The safety net for me, in my opinion, is like a noose, but it's just not tightened until you're that age where you're like, oh my god, this has been on me the whole time. I've just been waiting for this day. And that's why, as I said in the last one, I think that hits home, you're only afraid of dying if you haven't lived fully. And for me, that's why, like, because I remember people being like to me, like, for certain things that we talk about, oh, you're worried about going to Wim Hof, like there's been such and such, like, no.
Who gives a fuck?
I'm like, if I have to die, it's one of the things where, like, for me as an individual, that will be the only reason that you'd be scared, is because you feel you've left shit on the table.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting thing where, like, that's how you know whenever you hit that age and you're older and you can actually not rest on your laurels, but you're like, fuck, I've lived pretty good here. And I think it's, for New Year's, it's one of them time periods where anybody listening to this, you'll know, like, you can bluff everybody else that you're living to your full life.
You can't bluff yourself.
But that's the hardest thing, because you know deep down, you're like, fuck.
But you need to look at, as you said, what you would lose if you did not do it. And that's what I want you to ask yourself. Like, you're sitting 1st of January 2024, doesn't matter who you were last year, this is a clean slate. And, like, just imagine what would happen, like, if you actually went all in for 6 months, for 3 months.
Yeah.
Who you would be in 3 months' time, how you would look, how you would feel, what kind of person you would be, what you would have accomplished. Just imagine what that would feel like. And I always look to my deathbed. And like look back on my life, and you know what, like the things that I would have done, the things I would have regretted. And like that's what I want you to do. I always ask myself, what would 80-year-old Daniel do? I always ask my clients that. What would 80-year-old you do? What advice would they?
Will 80-year-old Daniel still be running with his top off?
He'll still be in the ice bath shouting, "Let's go, fucking baby!" Yeah, let's go espresso down the hatch. Something's never.
Zimmer frame out getting in it.
Yeah, something.
Get after it, gang.
Some things never change. But yeah, it is like I think that's important. Like look back and like saying you in 10 years' time, what decision would they want you to make today, and make that one.
It's the, I think it'll be for me anyway. I know, right? Like, it'll be the regrets of the decisions not made or the things not followed through on, not what I fucked up on.
Yeah.
Like it's that sort of case of if you see something you want to do, you want to go ask her. You'll never regret going over and getting rejected, but you'll regret letting the chance go by. Or you'll regret not leaving the job and trying something else. For me, it's them things that I don't. People will think, but I think they're the things that eat at you over time, like in the long run. And down the line, that's the main thing I think of, along with the other, the common 5 things that most people lying on their deathbeds always say. It's, should have spent more time with family, should have spent less time working. It's all them small things that add up massively over time. But I think it's the zoning out. It's always, whenever you break it down, it's that becoming a better individual around New Year's is just such an easy time period.
And I think that's why the change metric is so good, because I feel like a lot of people will be going not from zero, don't go from 0 to 100, go 0 to 1. And as you said, what is an ideal? What does your ideal life and what does your characteristics? If you could be anyone in 12 months, who would that individual be looking back in 2024 to make it a success? And then just start by being that individual for a month. Don't even commit to
for a day.
Yeah, and see what way you go, and just take it bit by bit, meal by meal, hour by hour. And I think that's the real building a character.
I think death is a very sobering thought for me as well. Like I know obviously Mickey, you've gone through that recently, and like even growing up as a kid, I joked in my story the other day that I've never been to a wedding, but I'm a banging coffin carrier. So if I've carried 9 coffins, so if you need a banging coffin carrier, shout me. But like again, that's a joke we have in our family, because obviously, like, unfortunately, we've seen a lot of that growing up, and I think that always stuck in the back of my head that, you know what, like, we're not going to be here forever. And like if they were sitting here today, like Patrick, my uncle, he passed away when we were in Bali, and like Patrick loved a pint, like, and he would have went down to the bar every day, and like we were saying, like, you know what, like, Patrick would give anything to be sitting here chatting shit over a cup of tea. Patrick would give anything to be sitting here and having a pint with his mates. And those are things that we take for granted, like those things that we do every day. It's like I always talk about like the flat white, and I romanticize that, and of course it's for Instagram, but like it started as that, but I really do love that. I do love going to the beach. I do love going home and seeing my wee dog wag his tail, and I would give anything if I ever went. I would give anything to be back there. What's it like? How has your relationship with that changed? Or obviously, are your perception of it changed?
Yeah, oh, definitely. When you're in that hospital room and you know things are going one way, you do start thinking about time. You definitely have regrets. You definitely be thinking you should have did more. You be almost be kind of hard on yourself. But I think it's definitely, you know, I've pretty much moved back home now to be closer with my father. So there's definitely that sort of thing where it makes you realise, and I kind of always did realise, but you never think of death, but always realise, everybody knows my biggest fear is regret, but sometimes you don't realise that, you know, there could be, you're thinking about all these other things, but you're not actually thinking of your mum being there tomorrow, or your dad being there tomorrow, because you don't really ever wake up in the morning and think you're going to lose someone. You don't, because you know,
take it for granted.
You take it for granted because it's just one of those things that, you know, it's the one from the day you're born. This one thing that's been the constant in your life has been your mother.
Do you think that's going to change how you live your life?
It should, and hopefully I can continue trying to remember myself, and it has. Like I've definitely been more aware, especially now, and especially with young people dying locally to me in this last few weeks, that you really realise that, you know, their life is, you don't take it for granted ever. And I think, you know, I have in the past, because I do have a pretty good lifestyle, you know, get the tour and do gigs and stuff, whereas there's going to be a lot more living in the moment, and a lot more yeses, a lot more taking risks, a lot more taking chances. I've said to myself, one of my keys for next year is be more curious.
I like that.
Do a lot more, just be brave and be curious. Do a lot more things that maybe I've been putting off. You know, taking a risk, backing yourself. Because I've talked about it enough and have the ducks almost in a line, but you know what I'm thinking? Fuck the last duck, just do it.
Yeah.
No, as you talk, there's never a perfect. Perfect is never.
So
what's
good.
perfect for me is not perfect for you. It's not perfect for you. So we might as well go fuck the last duck. Let's just.
That's the best quote I've heard all year. Yeah. Fuck the last duck, just do it.
Just do it.
Do you feel like, because of everything that's happened, do you feel like, obviously we're still coming out of a place where it's all very do you feel like the little things are more important, not more important, but you take them that little bit more now?
Well, there's certain things like taking care of the dog, because the dog was my mum's favourite thing in the world. So I see it now as I have to keep an eye on it a lot more, because if anything ever happened to that dog, it would be absolute carnage. So there's wee things like that, being more there for my father. My sister's got her own family stuff going on, so, you know, she's got her child, she's 2 more on the way, so she deals with that whole thing, so I will pick up the slack and deal with other stuff. But there is like certain things where you don't realise how much an Irish mummy does, where you're like, you know, fuck, up all these appointments and stuff, and like I'm starting to do that sort of stuff, and you're just thinking to myself, this is what you don't realise you're being raised to do that.
You're not grateful, but the word is you don't realise what each individual in your household probably brings to the table.
100%. You'll never know until they're not there.
It's simple things, like for example, this sounds ridiculous, but like my auntie, for example, like, don't get me wrong, she'll be watching this and she does my banger at times, but like she'll always make a cup of tea if the kettle's on, and it's one of the things. I know that sounds so small, or I'll get a laugh.
You missed that.
There are the things that build a character, and the thing is, we'll always look back on rose-tinted glasses. We'll never look back at a past relationship, a past family member, and go, do you remember the time that person was a cunt? You're gonna go, what about the time they done X? What about the time they done Y? And that's why, not fantasizing, don't get me wrong, take an individual as a whole, but that's why you need to zone in on the small things that a person does sometimes. It can be just something as simple as the way they actually hug you, how they say hello. And for me, there are the moments when you look back, you'll actually miss most importantly about the individual.
Yeah.
Like
I always ask myself, like, I've done this with you in ballet, which you don't know about. I said to myself, I was like, if he wasn't here, would I miss that? Like, if he went, would I miss that? Like, what you were doing, and it was you doing the howl, and I was pissing myself one day when you were recording. And I was like, if he wasn't in my life, would I miss that? And of course I would. And like, I think to my granny always does an American accent. She says, "Hello, Daniel." And when she answers the phone, and I always laugh. I'm like, you know what? Like, I would miss that so much. So like, I always ask myself, like, those little things, even the flat white. You know what? If I didn't have that one day, if that was taken away, God, I miss that so much. Like, I put so much more. It puts it into perspective. Puts so much more importance on that thing.
I think the idea about, do you ever see Ryan Holiday's a really good metric about this as well? It comes from Stoicism, like Marcus Aurelius used to. If you take something for granted, and you know you're taking it for granted, remove it. Now, I'm not saying remove your granted.
That would not be ideal.
Not optimal.
Big love, man.
But the idea of, for example, if you take for granted, like we all do, you have a car. Remove your car for 30 days.
Remove your car for
24 hours. And the thing is, yeah, exactly.
It's like when the internet goes down in your house.
And then you're so much more grateful for it in the long run. And that's the same with, like, that's one of the reasons why people go to me, oh, Joe, you're such a family person, but you're gone quite a lot. I don't I mean, people will get this. When you live with somebody for long enough, these are like ships in the night. These are past, these are routines. When you break that, you can almost restart for it. Like, I actually look forward to them. To my family being a wee bit annoying, Joe, simple things like that would piss you off normally, because you get that refresh, and not everybody's as lucky as that, but it's almost in a way like that stoicism of, like, I always say, like, for example, like, sounds ridiculous, one thing is, whenever I come home, I always really look forward to that, but I also really look forward to the fact that I've got my big monitor to work on, edit on, like, because I've not had it.
Yeah, you never spend long enough to regress to the means.
Yeah, and then the thing is, I think that for us is, like, if I turn around and I goes, remove the Let's Go Espresso forward. Like, for example, me
couldn't
and
do it.
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
Me and, like, for example, I think me and you had this conversation. Like, we only had one beer the whole time we were in ballet. I think
We didn't have any beers.
the one for your.
Oh, we did. We did.
beer
Yeah,
for
we just that was warranted.
Mine was what do you call that? Mine was like a bedtime rattler, so mine wasn't full beer dance.
All right,
but
I'll throw the big one on the bus.
but you get the idea. The thing was, when you removed them for so long, that tasted. And that beer was
better than sex.
It was quality. It's one
magic.
Of the things, and I think it's one of the things where you take it for granted then, and actually removing it slightly or forcing yourself to do that to an extent can actually work wonders. Now, I know it sounds odd. You're not going to remove your car. Maybe you're not going to remove, but that's why you miss home when you go away, because it's removed. It's the